Hello and welcome to Yoga with Shizu. For the next 20 minutes or so, I will guide you through some postures. Most likely this session will be a very light one for you, so it's super easy to follow. Maybe after you get up, maybe before going to bed. So nothing too strenuous. It's very light, very easy to follow. So I might give some options for some of the postures, but it really shouldn't be much of a problem. If you find something is a bit too much for some parts of the body, if you have injuries, don't worry about it. Do whatever you can, whatever that makes sense to you right now. Just enjoy. So let's start. First, we will start with the warm-up. All right. So we start from the head. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, look down. You can keep your eyes closed if you wish. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, looking down. Couple more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the chin down. You can shake gently from side to side. Inhale, roll the chin to the shoulder. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, roll to the opposite shoulder. Exhale, roll down. You can do it smoothly and slowly. Lower half of that circle. Do maybe one or two more each side. Whenever you are finished, come to the center, shake gently in the middle. So, bring one ear to the shoulder now. You can keep the chin slightly inward toward the chest. Now, if you wanted to stretch out this side, the arm, let's say you're going to the right side with your right ear to the right shoulder, you can stretch out the left arm to really feel not too high to the point that you feel it on the upper arm, but enough for you to feel the whole downward sort of action, the spiring sort of, you can feel that stretch. So it's like that. Continue to breathe. Slowly come to the center. Let's do the opposite side. So the other ear to the other shoulder. And then you can stretch out the arm if you wish. You don't have to do it, but you might like to feel the whole side stretching. Continue to breathe here. And then slowly come back to the center. And one breath at a time. Exhale, one ear to the shoulder. Inhale to the center. Exhale, the other ear to the shoulder. Inhale to the center. Continue like this, quite slowly. Especially if you have any neck issue, you want to be careful not to overdo or not to do anything abrupt. And let's do one more each side. Exhaling to the side, inhaling to the center. Take your time. And come back to the center again. Shake gently in the middle. So let's bring the hands up the back side, engage, and you can squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Now, if you are okay to do so, stretch out your arms and go upward. You might not, feel comfortable doing that. Some body types, don't work like that even. So if that's the case, you can bring gently or, squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other, just squeezing toward each other, that's it. And if you're comfortable, you can stretch upward. It's up to you. Continue to breathe here. And think about closing in the rib cage, not so much outward, but inward. So you engage the rib cage as well. Slowly release. Couple more times like this, so you can really round a little bit here. You can even bend the knees. And inhale. Continue to breathe here. Squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other. And as you exhale, round. Let's do one more time. Inhale, shoulders are down, engaging the rib cage. Continue to breathe. And as you exhale, release, relax. You can shake your arms, shake your hands. And let's do the rotation of the wrists. Nice and slowly. So, don't take this too light. People are like, no, but no, do it like you mean it. So do it like you mean it. Yeah. And go to the opposite direction. You might actually notice that one wrist moves a little bit more smoothly than the other, or one direction is easier for you to do than the other direction. So, notice everything. I can change the direction and see how it goes this time. And you can just relax. Let's go from side to side. You can exhale to the side, exhale through the mouth even. Now this time go upward higher on one side, exhale lower. You can bend the knees here. Inhale up, exhale. You can even follow with your face and then come down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Continue like that. So you notice that I'm actually stretching this leg as I go to that side, and then bend both knees to come down. Stretch out and exhale. Continue like that. It's as if, you're dancing and it's like, ta-da, and come down. Ta-da, and come down. Yeah. So now that we've done this side, we will of course go to the opposite side. So let's prepare. Ta-da, and come down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So you can sigh out through the mouth when you exhale, although always inhale through the nose. Continue like this. Let's do one more. And come to the center. Let's do some movements of the arms. Very simple. You inhale, go up. Exhale, come down. Making circles. Same direction. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's change the direction. Inhale and exhale. Nice and simple. Move the shoulders and the arms. Feel the movement of the shoulders and the arms. And let's come back to the center. Shake it out. So, have the hands by the side of you. Have the feet as wide as the hips or so. Outer edges are parallel to each other. As you exhale, come down to one side. You can relax both arms, both shoulders. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now this time we will add one arm. Exhale. So you relax the lower one Stretch the upper one, and then you can even look toward, sort of underneath your armpit, looking to the side. Inhale to the center. Exhale, lower the arm. Inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, lower. Again, you can look toward, just through your armpit. Engage the core. Inhale and exhale. Let's do one more like this. Inhale, lift the arm. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, come to the center. Exhale, down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So you might want to close the feet a little bit closer so that it's easy for you to do the rotation of the hips. Feel free to go forward as you exhale. Inhale to go back, whichever that makes sense to you. You can exhale or inhale depending on how you feel. As long as you're breathing, I'm not that fussy. Continue to breathe. And also the shoulders and the head, or you can go to the opposite direction, but the shoulders and the head will stay pretty stationary rather than going with the movement of the hips. Yeah, so your head will stay pretty straightforward, just stationary, and so are the shoulders. Continue like that. And let's come back to the center. Have the hands on the knees, and then you can make small circles around the ankles and the knees. So the idea is that the knees are not closed in. It's as wide as you had them, and you just go parallel sort of way, going in circles. Let's go to the opposite direction. It might be similar to skiing, although I've never skied, so I don't, don't take my word for it, but it seems similar to how you go, with ski, unless you want to stop, I guess, yeah? So you're continuing on the skis. I don't even know. Anyways, yeah. Come back to the center. So let's do the last bit. You can place one foot just a little bit outside so that you can make circles. Now, if going in circles is a little bit too much for the ankle for whatever reason, you can just go forward and backward just a little bit, pressing onto the ball of the foot, come back, ball of the foot, come back. You can also go from side to side, as if you are stepping on a cigarette butt, almost kind of like that. You can do that instead of circling. You can do circle if that's easy enough for you. Going to the opposite direction if you're doing the circles. Again, if you're doing the side to side, that's completely fine. Forward and backward, that's also good. Whatever that works out for you. So let's do the opposite foot. So whatever that works for you, you can right away do the circling, or going forward and backward, pressing down. So please don't go too far forward with the knee. If you are feeling it in the knee, it's far too much. Yeah, so don't feel it in the knee. It's just for your toes and the ball of the foot to feel. And you can also go from side to side, just gently enough for you. You can also change the direction of the circles if you're doing the circles. Good. Come back to the center. So shake it out. So let's do the forward bend. Feet as wide as the hips. Outer edges of the feet are parallel to each other. Have the hands around the hip crease. So it's not the waist area, it's much lower. It's the bikini line, basically. Inhale in this position, open the chest, lower the shoulders. Engage the core. So the core meaning not only just the abdomen, but the whole area. It's as if you're wearing the protective, what do you call those things? Girdles or protective sort of, things here, like the belt, right? It's kind of like that. So the whole core should be engaged right now. And as you exhale, you can lower the chest forward, head forward. So you can keep the posture a little bit higher than the horizontal level, maybe the horizontal level, maybe all the way down, wherever that feels good to you. So the purpose of this posture is to stretch the back of the legs. Yeah? So other than that, it doesn't really matter how low we go with the head. So continue to breathe. You can look toward the big toes or the space between your legs. Continue to breathe here. One more breath. And bend your knees slowly. Inhale, lift yourself up. And exhale. So you can open much wider, maybe 3 or 4 steps away from each other. At the moment, again, the outer edges of the feet are parallel to each other. So you can again have the hands not to the waist, but around the hip crease so that you can feel the movement of the hips as you go forward and backward. So you can actually feel it now, just going, up and down. You feel it from the hip joints, yes? So it's the hip flexion sort of idea. Yeah. And let's go toward the floor, maybe again as light as before or as low as before, wherever that makes sense to you. This time you would want to engage the core a little bit more even than the last time to protect the hips and the lower back. Engage, engage. Couple more breaths like this. You can keep the hands to the hip level if it's okay for you. If it's too much, you can have the hands to maybe the legs or maybe to the floor. Yeah. And bend the knees a little, engage the core, come back up as you inhale. And exhale. So bring your heels closer. Toes are away from each other. Let's have the hands forward. You're interlacing your fingers like this. So we're gonna chop the wood for the fire stove. Inhale, going up. Exhale, you bend your knees, lower the axe. Inhale. You can even do that. You can sigh out through the mouth if you feel like it. You can exhale as you do that. Kind of like that. So in terms of the squat, you wouldn't want to go too straight like this. It's okay if you are okay with the lower back, but I would recommend you to go slightly backwards so you feel the stretch coming to the glutes and the hamstrings. So continue like that. Engage the core at all times. Continue like this, maybe 3 more times. And let's come back to the center. Toes come toward each other, heel, toe, shake it out. Let's do another rotation just to recalibrate around the hip area. Going to the opposite direction. Good, good, good. Hands at the back side, engage the core here and then push forward. You can keep looking forward with your head. This is just to stretch the front of the thighs and the hips, opening the abdomen. Continue to breathe. Slowly release. Good. So let's come to seated postures. Now, bring the legs forward. Heels pushing down to the floor. Feet as wide as the hips. Engage the core. You can bring your hands to the legs or to the floor. even toward the back side. Push down the back of the legs wherever your hands might be. Sorry, the camera is trying to focus, I think. So slowly you can lower the chest and the nose forward. So it doesn't really matter how low you go, especially in this posture. What matters the most is that I want you to feel the stretch at the back of both legs going toward the sacrum. If you feel any strain in the lower back, you want to back off a little, even lighter in terms of an angle, but push down the back of the legs. That's what we all want, to stretch out the back line of the fascia, the connective tissue. There is a broad sort of band-like, sort of belt, fascial belt from here all the way, the back side of the body and back of the head, ending at the ridge here. So you want to stretch it out. One more breath here. And slowly release. So you might want to bring the legs a little bit wider. That might be more comfortable for you. And then you can point away with your toes. You can have the hands to wherever that's good for you. Point toward you, flex your feet, but the heels are still down. So you want to relax the knees in that way. Point forward, point toward you. Continue like that. So nothing to it really. And then you can go outward. For this one, you might want to lean backward. Going outward, maybe the little toes touch the floor, maybe not. Going inward, maybe the big toes touch the floor, maybe not. It's really doesn't matter how far we go. Going outward and inward. So, make sure your knees are slightly bent to do this one. And this time we go all the way, all four directions, going forward, inward, backward, outward. Yeah. So continue like this. So if you're like me on the floor, most likely the heels are going to make funny noises. Yes. Going to the opposite direction. Continue like that. Yes, it's a great movement for the ankles, and flexible ankles are always a good idea. Yeah, coming back to the center. So let's keep the legs wide. You can go quite a bit wider if you wish. And then you're going to keep the toes upward. Push down the inside of the legs, the back side of the legs to the floor. Now, if this is already quite a stretch for the legs and the groin, you can stay here. If you'd like to go a little bit farther forward to augment that stretch, that sensation between the legs, you can do that as well. You can come forward as well. Feel free to keep your hands at, with whatever position that makes sense to you. A lot of times people like to hold on to the legs like this to anchor. I don't really find it very useful to me. I do find it comfortable to be in this position with my lower arms to the floor, but you can keep them, at the backside to push yourself forward if you wish. So continue to breathe wherever you are. Chin toward the chest, but imagine that the nose is going down toward the floor rather than the forehead. In other words, you're not rounding the back. Engage the core a bit more, come back up, inhale. And as you exhale, come back to the center. You might want to squeeze your knees. Coming back to a lying down posture now. So feel free to lie down. You can also squeeze your knees toward your body. rock from side to side gently. You can also make circles with your knees, massaging the lower back. And go to the opposite direction for the circles. And bring the legs together, hands at the side. You're simply going to push as if you're going to push the ceiling or support the ceiling with your feet. If it's more comfortable for you, feel free to separate your feet as wide as the hips. And here, you want to push down the small of the back against the floor. So there's no gap between your lower back and the floor. Continue to breathe just here. And if you notice that your shoulders are starting to tighten, relax them completely. Continue to breathe in this position. Now, if you're finding that this is a bit too much for the lower back, feel free to bend the knees here. So still you are more or less supporting the ceiling anyway, but if you're okay with the back side of the legs and also the lower back, you can really push toward the ceiling, relaxing the shoulders. Couple of more breaths like this. I'm sure you feel the lower abdomen. And slowly come down. Soles of the feet together, knees are away from each other. You might want to nudge from side to side. You can relax here. Now, the lower back would be off the floor, coming up slightly. So you can relax your back, relax your hips. Continue to breathe. Supta Baddha Konasana, so I like to call this the reclining butterfly. Continue to breathe. Relax the chest. Relax your hips and the groin. Relax your abdomen. Relax the core. Couple of more breaths here. And engage the core slowly. Bring the knees toward each other and stretch away from you. Stretch out your arms away from you as well. So you are making the letter I with your body. And again, you can push down the small of the back against the floor. So you are engaging the core once again here. And as you exhale, bring one knee toward the chest. You can keep the head to the floor. Inhale, letter I, alternate the legs. Exhale, squeeze the other knee to the chest. Inhale to the letter I, you get the idea. Continue like this. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, away. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, away. So maybe a couple more times each side. You can exhale, squeezing. Inhale, stretching. And as you finish, once again, come back to the letter I and then push down gently the lower back to the floor, the small of the back to the floor. So you really engage the lower abdomen in this posture. Yeah, you really push down. You might feel like the belly button is coming toward the spine, toward the floor. Yeah. Slowly release. You can have the hands by the side of you. You can even open the feet a little bit wider away from each other. You can shake your hips if you want to. It feels quite nice. And take deep breath here. Inhale through the nose. Sigh out through the mouth. Continue like that. Close your eyes and stay there for at least 5 more breaths. Now, if you want to stay there in that posture for a little bit longer, of course, feel free to do so. If you want to start moving, you can bring your knees to the chest, once again, rocking either from side to side or make circles, whatever that works out for you to, massage the back. And then in order to come up, you can roll onto the side, push yourself up. So that concludes our light practice. Thank you very much for following me. And I wish you a good day, or good morning, good night, whatever it is. Thank you. Bye.